Hey guys, welcome back. It's Jack from CruiseCasinoMafia.com. And most of my conversations with a lot of my inner circle people, some of them are members of CruiseCasinoMafia.com. Others are longtime people in the gambling community. Some of them are system designers, and some of them are people that make a living doing this for many years. Our conversations, if we could record those conversations, I think so many people would get so much out of them. A lot of those conversations are very different than what you guys may think. I think people that watch some of these YouTube channels like ours think that we would probably be talking about, what we believe is the best bet selection, whether it's in roulette or whether it's in craps or something else. And you know what? That's not really the conversations that we have. Because if you've been doing this long enough, you come to this conclusion that bet selections are sexy. They're fun. When someone comes up with something unique, everybody's excited about it, including me, to see what it feels like. But once we test it, once we review it, we all come to the same conclusion that even if it is interesting, the real question is, what is the money management that works best with the bet selection? And members of CruiseCasinoMafia.com over the last year and a half have heard me beat this to death, but I'm very proud that so many people that have been involved with us now also have taken up the mantle of watching our videos, but then figuring out and testing which money management component works best. Because that's where the real work happens. If you're new to this channel, you can go back over the last year and a half and you can look at specifically some of the Baccarat stuff that we've shown you for free on this channel. And so many of those videos contain fairly straightforward, very easy to learn bet selections. Some use patterns. Some use dominant theory, which means what's dominant over a certain period, banker or player. Some use a little bit more of a random theory, right? But at the end of the day, what you really get out of the videos here that you don't get in some of the other channels, and I mean some of them have great content, by the way. I love watching some of the other channels. I always tell you guys that. But what you will get out of the better channels is their discussion regarding the money management component. So, where does that actually leave you? It leaves you with this. We've provided 4 volumes and counting to our private members of various money management concepts. Some are ultra conservative, and some are take a little bit more risk for those people that want to make their money quicker and are more willing to take a little bit more risk. We've even provided our members, and we have a video on this channel if you look it up, for those that just can't get away from the martingale stuff. Early on, I gave you guys a video that if you can't get away from it, then I gave you 2 options that at least make the martingale better, like a hybrid version of martingale and another very interesting version of Martingale. You know, like a slower version and then a hybrid, weird version of Martingale. I call it, I think in that video, the Martingale grid. It's an interesting concept. You know, it certainly doesn't make it into my top 5 because I think the conservative stuff that I've shown my members and some of the things on this channel, I'd rather play because I'm not here to gamble. I'm here to make money consistently and remove as much of the risk as I possibly can, but also take into account the amount of time spent in the casino. So let's talk about that. There's a balancing routine, right? You're always balancing the amount of time spent grinding, if you're talking about a conservative approach, versus how much money you're making. It always has to work out because I've tried some things, and you know me, I'm pretty conservative, and I've tried some things, and I will even say, wow, how long did I spend grinding that out to make how many units? So when it gets to the point where that doesn't make sense anymore, even I have to evaluate and say, maybe something else needs to be tested. You know, if you're grinding to get out of a loss for 15 shoes, if you're talking about Baccarat, 15 shoes is a long time. Incredibly frustrating. So, even on the conservative side, you still have to be comfortable that it's worth your time, right? It still has to be worth your time. You're not going to go to a job and spend 8 hours a day, 5 days a week to get a paycheck of $100. Even if you like the job, right? You're going to say, I like this job. I like what I'm seeing. But the time and the effort is not worth it. So then you can compare some of the other money management techniques and stuff that we've given our members and some of the things on this channel and see where you fall in that line of conservative versus way too aggressive. And a lot of that does come down to your hit rate or your win rate. So it's a recipe, right? It's a recipe. You may have a sweet tooth like me, even though I'm diabetic. And even you, if you have a sweet tooth, may say, wow, I put way too much sugar in this recipe. But you don't want to go the other direction, and your cookies are bitter. So there has to be a middle ground. And that's where the work comes in. And I know a lot of you don't want to put in the work. I get it. I get it. But don't complain when you close your eyes, watch a YouTube video, and just decide that exactly the way that something is being shown is the only way it can be done. Because that's just not true. And you're missing the fun of the exploration, the journey of going through finding that strategy that you really like and figuring out how to combine that with the money management properly. I enjoy that part of this more than anything else. So that's kind of the way you got to look at it. Now, some games are different than others, right? Some of the roulette strategies that have a lot of the combo bet stuff, I show you some of those here. You see some of those on the Roulette Jackpot channel. Every day he puts out another video, and most of those are combo bets. crazy combo bet stuff. Some of those, the math is the math. And sometimes you can't really, the flexibility is not there. And you either like what you're being shown or you don't. It's either far too risky or the bankroll is ridiculous for the, for the incentive of what you're winning. But sometimes you can still tweak even those strategies, but it's a little bit harder, right? Now, if you're talking about columns and dozens and the even money bets, then everything I'm talking about on this video is the same. That you can look at a ton of different ways to make money using columns or dozens. Okay? Or especially the even money bets, of course. These are the things that if you really want to turn the casino, whether you do this on your cruise or whether you do this in your local casino on a regular basis or just on trips to Vegas or Biloxi or Atlantic City or wherever it is, these are the things you want to think about. Because if you don't think about these things and put in the time, you're just gambling. You're just gambling. If you want to gamble for entertainment purposes, I'm not going to tell you not to do that. I'm not going to tell you not to buy a lottery ticket because the odds are stacked against you. I have no reason to tell you that. But if you're telling yourself that you want to take this seriously, that you have come to the same conclusion that I did years ago and that my members have, that this is far better than gambling in the stock market or options trading or Forex or crypto, and you want something that doesn't change from day to day, that you understand the math exactly, that you know the rules of the game, which you don't know in the stock market from day to day, hour to hour. You don't know the rules of the game in crypto. You don't know the rules of the game in Forex. Because the variables change. Elections, interest rate hikes, global disasters, surprise earning reports, and a bevy of other problems, not to mention broker manipulation. We don't have any of that here. I know when I walk over to the craps table, which I did in Vegas multiple times a week ago, I know exactly how many ways there are for those two dice to make a 7 versus a 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10. It doesn't change. There's a variance in the short term, and I can see way more 4s in the short term than the math tells me should happen. But in the long term, it all works out. You are not going to get more 4s or more 5s rolled with two dice than 6s, 8s, and 7s over a large sampling. It ain't happening. It's math. So if I'm going to beat that game, I have the knowledge statistically using the math to be able to have a playing field that makes sense. When you put your money into the Forex market and trade the euro US dollar like I did millions of times. I'm fighting the other people that are buying that same thing and selling it against me. I don't know what they're going to do. I could have 100 technical indicators that are some magical crystal ball, but I don't know what they're going to do. No idea. I don't know what the broker is going to do to manipulate the pricing. I don't know what the national banks are going to do globally to manipulate the buys and sells, to artificially pump or drop something. I don't know that we're going to have a global disaster or a hurricane or some type of a problem. I don't know that outside forces like the price of gold and silver, oil, are going to affect my Forex, my currency pair. I don't know any of those things. So I have to use my crystal ball of technical indicators to be able to magically determine what happens next. Ask yourself, does that sound like a scientific way, a mathematical way of consistently generating a profit without having all the variables? Or would you rather have all the knowledge, all the math, the good and the bad, the house edge that doesn't change? It doesn't change. There's X number of ways to make a 7. There's X number of ways to make a 4 or a 10. Does it change? No. I'd rather focus on that puzzle than the puzzle that I focused on for over 25 years. I can beat this puzzle. They don't want you to think about it like that. They want you to think of this as an entertainment vehicle. And that is the financial holy grail. Put your money into a mutual fund. Let other people magically do what I just told you, that are no better than you or me. You know how many mutual funds a year make money? You know how many lose money? You know how many basically break even after you pay the management fee? I make that same annual percentage with one strategy. One strategy. And I don't pay any broker fee, management fee, none of it. There's positive tax implications as well for playing in this world. There's almost none over there, unless you want your money to be held up until you're 80 years old or whatever. There's no comparison. They don't want me to tell you this. They don't want this information out. But I'm giving it to you. That's what it is. If you want the rest of the story, subscribe to the channel. If you're interested in working with us and learning how to do these things, join CruiseCasinoMafia.com. It's pennies a day. It's a one-time payment, not a subscription. Right now, I still have the same price that I did when I had 3 pieces of content up on the back end. I have not changed the price yet. For less than $1 for each strategy, video, piece of content, you can get all of it, plus everything we do going forward. People are charging thousands of dollars for one system. They're charging hundreds of dollars for one system. I don't believe in that. Because I don't believe that one system is the answer for you, because it isn't for me. So why should I sell you that type of nonsense? I believe you need to have a smorgasbord of options and continue to learn new options and test. That's the way I operate, because that's exactly what I do. There isn't one answer for you or for me. There isn't one money management for you or for me. There's no holy grail bet strategy. There's no holy grail money management. So don't pay for that last strategy that you're ever going to need. I just don't believe in it. Open the door to an education and a library of hundreds of different thought processes, multiple different games to use as your asset class. And you figure it out slowly what makes sense after you test. This is not a one-fit-all deal. You need to put in the time. And you will find, just like many of the members I communicate with every single week, that they found the 2 or 3 things out of hundreds that made sense after they tested it. And it went into their toolbox. And these are the 1, 2, 3 things that they use in that specific game. They continue to evaluate all the new stuff we put out. And it either knocks one of their 3 down and it gets replaced, or it goes into an honorable mention category to be looked at again down the road or further testing. Become a scientist. Become a casino income scientist. It's fun. You're not going to have any more fun than what we do. I've never had as much fun making money as I do right here. You don't have to be 20 years old to learn this. You don't have to have that energy. You can be any age as long as you have a computer so that you can simulate, you can evaluate, you can watch the videos, you can test. Do you have a laptop? Do you have a computer access? That's what you need. You don't need to be a spreadsheet genius. You don't need to be a mathematician. You don't need to know how to put all those indicators on your charts to be able to trade. You don't need that. You need a desire, and you need to be patient, and you need to take your time and not be lazy. That's all you need. If you're interested, like the video. Subscribe to the channel so you get all of our free content. That's the first thing you want to do. And it's up to you. Click on the link below. You can go to our website. You can use the promo code for $50 off. And right now, I don't know when you're watching this video, but our new website is going to be built very soon. I'm working on it. And when that happens, the cost, the price of the lifetime membership is going up. I've been saying it for months, but it hasn't happened. Now it has to happen. Because the amount of effort and time that I'm putting in and my team is putting in to what we're doing and all the things we want to do in 2025, I can't do for the same price. So if you're on the fence and you want to do this and you had enough with options and Forex and whatever, eBay selling, Amazon, drop shipping, all the garbage, then join us. But do it now because it's less money. I'll see you on the next video.